We really had total confidence in our home inspector for that house.
Look at this. Oh, God. I've got a really bad feeling we're going to be opening up quite a bit in this house.
The house of our dreams became the house of our nightmares.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is really not what I wanted to see.
This house is everything we've worked for, and it's all of our money. And we trusted a man that let us down.
Kristen and Grant looking for that first house before they get married because I guess they wanted that home, then put on the wedding. However, that wedding got just a little stretched out due to problems that started to exist in the home. They chose to live downtown. They want that area. They want to be fast to work. They don't want to spend a lot of money on gas, pollute the environment. They're thinking right. They brought in a home inspector to do a whole home inspection to make sure the house they're buying is good. Things start to fall apart enough to actually send me emails to come in and take a look. All right, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna take a real good look at this. I'm gonna use all the right tools. I'm gonna find out what's right, what's wrong, what I have to do to fix it, and how I'm gonna make it right.
We met each other in photography school about 7 years ago. We fell in love over darkroom chemicals and film processing and late nights shooting products in the studio. We lived and we worked downtown, and we were very, downtown-centric. We don't have a car, and we wanted to be close to transit and restaurants and nightlife and all the things that we love about the city.
When we started looking for a house, there were a few major points that we wanted to hit. Backyard was one big thing. Garage was a huge thing.
When we first started looking for a home, wanted to get something interesting, and I love that it was a converted storefront.
We just really wanted to own. That was the big thing. We really wanted to have a space that was actually ours.
We were saving for two big things. We wanted to buy a new home, we were also getting married. And, budgeted really accordingly, trying to be able to achieve both of these things. Our price range didn't offer, a lot to be desired. We saw a lot of really bad houses. So when we saw this house, it was like a shining beacon. It was this little gem, and we walked in and went, oh my goodness, it's fantastic. It's so much better than everything else we'd seen. We just fell in love the instant we walked in. So we got an inspection as soon as possible.
When I was walking around with the home inspector, he didn't point out a lot of things.
There was a couple holes in the back wall of the house out into the backyard where some cables and electrical and things like that ran out, and he advised us that we should spray foam it. So we spray foamed that.
There wasn't a whole lot of issues with the house.
We really had total confidence in our home inspector, and he thought the house was as great as we thought it was.
You must be Grant.
I am.
I'm Mike.
Mike, nice
Kristen.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. A little bit of a windy day. Can we start off inside?
Sure.
Come on in.
Thank you.
If he told us to do things, we would have done them. He gives us a little list. That's what we pay him for.
Ah, I see why you found the place and why you like it. See, looks are deceiving my world. Can you tell me some of the problems you're having now?
Water.
Water.
It seems like all of our problems are water related. Our first morning in the house, we were super excited. It'd been a very late night moving in, and we were starting to unpack. And that is when we started to notice a few issues. We started to run the dishwasher. It ran for a good solid 10 minutes and then stopped, never to work again. I was starting to put things away underneath the sink in the bathroom, and there was a great big puddle underneath the sink.
Being fairly handy people, we go to the hardware store, pick up what we need, and we fix it.
None of these issues had been brought up in the report, so we didn't know what other things that we were going to expect.
Things that catch my eye. So, there's our skylight. The skylight's leaking right there, and I can see the rippled tape across here, which tells me there's lots of moisture issues here. New tub, new faucets. Can I see in here?
Yeah.
So laundry, that's a big unit, isn't it? Okay, all your plumbing It's tied into this wall here, which means it's tied into here. So here's the big issue I see. I've said this 1,000 times, don't put it on the second floor. If that ever leaks, that's gonna cause huge amounts of damage. And two, let me guess, when it's running, it shakes your house.
Yeah.
Because it's not on concrete. Where were you leaking?
In our bedroom.
In our bedroom.
We were sitting downstairs watching television, and the dryer had been on forever. So I went into our bedroom to get a laundry basket to remove some of the items from the dryer, and I turned on the light in the bedroom and looked up, and there was a huge bubble in our ceiling. And I freaked out.
I heard Kristen scream my name, so I ran upstairs.
The bubble just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
And I poked the bubble in the ceiling, and water started running down my arm and gushing.
There was water everywhere, and we lost it. Is there a roof leak? You know, is there water coming in? Why is, like, there's no water above our bedroom ceiling. Why would there be water there? So we were super worried. We had no one to call and no idea what the problem was or any idea of how to fix it.
Has it leaked since?
Every time we do laundry.
Every time you do laundry? Okay, that's really weird. Okay, I will look at that. Let's go see the basement.
This was insurmountable odds to us. We had no idea what to do. In order to fix our house, we would have to sacrifice parts of our wedding. I just didn't want it to cost Kristen the wedding of her dreams. It was scary. It was a very scary time.
Nice old sink, by the way.
Yeah, we love the sink.
Did you know that's all lead?
No.
All this drain is lead.
What?
That's all lead. 100% lead. Don't touch it, please, because it'll absorb in your skin. I don't like that you don't have a proper fire stop from this house to the next door house. Very old wood. This stuff will burn. Talk about kindling. That's what this will burn. Because the floor joists run through, that fire can continue through. When you're looking at a fire stop, just stop it long enough for the fire department to possibly come in and stop it here. But if it can quickly and easily go next door, they're on fire. Just like that. Look at this. Come here. What do you see?
The other house completely?
Yeah.
Our next door neighbor's basement.
That's your next door neighbor's basement. I have a flashlight. I can go around. I got a camera. I can take pictures, and I can go, hey, you guys may not want this house.
You know, one thing after another, after another, after another, and we didn't know what to do. Everything was crumbling around us. We had a money pit of a house, and everything was just going so horribly wrong.
So we have a register, return, and we have another return.
There's another one over there.
Okay, that's not a good sign. We don't want 2 returns up front here. We only need 1. I always encourage the inspector, because you're not going to do damage, to pull her up. Wow, wow, wow. I want you to take a look at your air return. I want you to see what you're breathing.
Oh my God. It's like an inch deep.
But inch deep of what?
Dust.
Dust?
Dust. You want to take a look?
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
Now I'm going to really look into the HVAC. Did the home inspector point that out?
No.
Took a lot of good pictures, I have to say. I don't want to knock them because it's one of the better reports that I've looked at. However, I don't see enough in writing. As a matter of fact, in writing, it was very shallow on the writing. Giving you a recommendation on the roof that you probably have a good 5 years. When the pictures I see that he took, I can look at the picture and go, that's a problem. I'm going to stop now. I'm going to get my tools. So the next time I bring you in, I'm going to show you everything I did find and just what I have to do to fix it, which makes me a little nervous.
I'm feeling overwhelmed that there was a lot more wrong just in Mike's first glance at our house than I ever expected. It's very frightening. I feel like this house was really shiny and perfect, but underneath of all that, it seems like it was the lemon.
You guys may not want this house.
Underneath the hood is still a crappy old engine.
How many times do I gotta come in and look at something that looks so good and then just do so much damage to it to fix it to make it look the same again? All right, I'm ready to play. So what do we have? We have moisture here. Let's follow it over to the side. Boom, we see it again. Let's follow it up the wall. We see it, we see it, we see it. We know it's coming up from the top. Now, we're seeing a lot of water signs, but as it darkens, this is an area that's starting to mold. And this was an area that they plastered, so we're gonna start, I mean, the plaster just loves mold. It just thrives on it. It's like, oh, stay, give me more and more. That's what plaster's like. That's why you're gonna see it more here. Now, real simple is, let's step outside for a second. I'm gonna show you something. Something that caught my eye walking up to the house is this is how the place used to look like. The before, after, before, after. But that corner right there is leaking inside. It's literally coming down right in that corner, right down all this new, wonderful wood and dripping inside, not only in here, but inside on the other side of the window. Yeah, we have real good reasons to use this. So I pull up my IR camera just to do a quick look. Just gonna look on the outside wall. I have a very cold spot right there. That one is over here. And that's the odd thing about that. That is the joining. This is part of the other house. Oh, it's because he's renovating. He's got all the windows taken out and all the cool air's coming in, so I'm seeing that easy. Well, this is a semi-detached home, so there's going to be ductwork, electrical, plumbing for both units inside the shared wall. Depending on what we have to do, it may affect the neighbors, so we'll have to keep them in the loop. To have the inspector come in and not notice that we don't have a proper fire stop in between the houses, like you just don't want, I can see next door. And then I look over and I see, not only next door, but I see the asbestos. Let's see just how clear my camera can take that shot. Now, if I can clearly see that, how come nobody else did? Being in construction all these years that I've done this, in an older home like this, we're gonna normally see anything that runs in the wall wrapped by asbestos. And that's what they're gonna do, is wrap that ductwork to help hold that heat in, especially in between units. The inspector, he's not qualified to look for asbestos, but some of them have knowledge about it. Come downstairs, take a look up. There you go. Oh, there it is. There's the wrap.
Mr. Holmes, you down there?
Oh, I got all kinds of problems here, Mr. Bennett.
I could actually see as walking in, buddy.
Yeah, watch your head on the lights, because this is gonna be an issue. So we have a triple brick construction. It's very old. We're around 1915, 1917 build.
Yep.
Triple brick on the foundation wall, very clear, double brick as it continues up. There's no doubt in my mind I'm gonna be opening up paths for plumbing, paths for the HVAC, and just see just how bad that roof is up there. I've got a really bad feeling we're gonna be opening up quite a bit in this house.
There are a couple really strange things in the house.
And it's funny, you know how many times I walked around this toilet?
Yeah. Is that functioning?
Yes.
Get out of here.
But there is a lock on the basement door, so I guess you could consider it a one-piece bathroom.
That toilet's working.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Your own private
What a
giant
selling
bathroom.
bonus, eh? Buy this house. Something that just caught my eye.
Yeah.
You see right there?
You got asbestos.
I have asbestos.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so we're into a kind of a big one here, but let's bring everyone in. Let's get ready to go. I think we're in for one hell of a job on this house.
Well, today's all about worker safety, really. We're removing the asbestos that's within these walls. This is the first thing we want to do, not only to protect my workers, but it's also the people living here. They want to hang pictures. They want to do a renovation in the future. We want to make sure that they're safe by removing all the asbestos in the house. We have Alliance here today. They're going to start removing drywall. They're going to actually do exploratory to make sure that there's nothing else within these walls. Anytime you see that there's paper wrapped around ductwork, leave it alone. Get it tested. You do not want to breathe that in, and you definitely don't want it in your house. What Alliance wants to do is remove the entire duct line. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll spray the paper down and start taking the paper off if they have full access, 360 degrees around that pipe. They don't have that access here. So Alliance will remove the whole pipe, ensuring that they're not leaving any paper on the back of it. Because they can't see through the other unit, How do we know we're getting it out? So it's the right call to make. They remove all the duct, making sure that any asbestos left on that is completely gone, removed properly.
So this is what happens when you hire the wrong people, eh?
Really, Mike, there's a lot going on this roof.
Well, this is just a patch after patch after patch. Oh, this just sucks. Tell me we're gonna be pulling the whole thing.
It looks like it, Mike.
Now look at the chimney. Holy cow. Oh, this is really not what I wanted to see. I saw pictures of the inspector being up here. He really didn't say too much about the roof. He said something about the chimney.
The skylights are shot, the curbs aren't built properly. I don't really understand all this extension on the curbs.
I bet you it was one big skylight at one time. So now we're gonna probably have to change that structure and put in a proper curb mount for a proper skylight like they attempted to do over here. And that's not the way to throw a patch on there.
No,
Obviously,
this is just oxidized asphalt, right? So every one of these cracks, because that asphalt expands and contracts differently than the roofing materials, once it dries out, it splits, it's a leak. We usually refer to these patch-type roofs as leak factories. Like, there's a leak in every corner, every spot of this roof.
Nothing like doing a major renovation downstairs and spending a fortune of money to make it look good and not protecting it. It's probably leaked for years. I'm really worried we pull this up and I've got rot, I've got mold.
The only saving grace here is that the roof does have a good natural slope, which, you know, is usually a good sign. You know, often we've seen projects in the past where the roof has no slope, you're into major structure.
So this is a big job for you.
It's a huge job. Well, part of the problem here, too, is accessibility. Like, there's not very good access to these homes. We've got a small alleyway in the back, and we've got a very busy downtown street out front. So we're doing a couple of test cuts. We did one on the high point of the roof, and we're doing one here at the low point of the roof. With these tight, narrow or bad access areas, it's very common to see multiple layers of roofing on these homes because it's very difficult to get rid of the garbage. Years of roofing, there's probably about 3 or 4 roofs we're looking at, layer upon layer, the old style tar and paper, and then with the more modern stuff up top. Really, it's just really sloppy workmanship.
Well, Gary.
How are you, Mike?
Oh, you know what? I've had better days. I was just on the roof. I don't feel good. When I walked in the house the very first time, watch your head on those lights. I had a return here and a return here. So I know we don't want to return so close to another return.
They're not getting enough air throughout the whole house, so they added one. It's not working, though.
Yeah, but did you see the crap in there?
That's the return. The supply is the same thing.
Okay, there's fur in there.
It's just circulating through the whole house.
And probably it looks like for years people smoked in here, too. You just see the buildup on the back side of the duct, like the yellow. I don't even want to touch it. I don't even want to wipe it. You already know what I see, right?
Yeah. All the connections going to the upstairs are all disconnected. They're all got gaps and openings in them, every one of them.
Oh, no, that would explain
so
why they're freezing upstairs.
Yeah, they're all bleeding down here.
Well, I think we're in for one hell of a job on this house. And it looked beautiful. I'll pull this down right away.
I'm looking for the dryer line. We can't see the exit of the dryer exhaust, so right now I'm just trying to see where the connection's made in this ceiling and see which way it goes. Every time they turn the dryer on, it seems like they had a leak, so we're not sure what's causing the leak. It was definitely water coming in here, but it's also something to do with the dryer. I see a lot of water drips on the deck itself. Now, one good thing is, Steve will be happy about it. It looks like the deck is solid. It looks like we're not replacing the deck, but you can see the water stains right here where all the water came down. You can see it on the side of the joist. You can see it on the deck. That roof, it's a good thing we're replacing it. I still have to find that dryer line, though. Look at the water stains there. Oh. Okay, here's where we found the connection. It's right where the leak happened. You can see the water stains happening here, which means I know that from this connection, where it elbows up, I can tell with a measuring tape, that's where it ties into the old cast iron stack. Is it wrong? Absolutely. Look where it's going through the roof with the cast.
Of course. She said it leaked every time she used the dryer.
If it's on a down run, condensation is going to build up not only from that moist air, but from the hot and cold meeting. And that's just going to drip onto the drywall and slowly come in the bedroom. I'm moving the wash and the dryer to the basement where we have proper floor drainage, so we don't even need this vent here.
I see they took the old duct out, which is good.
Yeah, now we had to take out the neighbors too, because anything on this wall, it was covered in asbestos. All right, so you need to get into this wall.
All our heating runs, all our returns for the upstairs are all going in these walls.
So how much of this wall do you need down, brother?
Well, we got to start over here.
All right.
So we're going to be right in this section here, and we're going to walk all the way down. All this.
Okay.
Now, if we can, we got to stop here, because this is obviously open, right?
Yeah.
And then we're going to start again here, and we're going to come all the way right to there.
Is that it? Is that all we have to do?
For this side of the wall.
Okay, can you lose the spray paint? You're not going on that wall in the ceiling area?
No, not going on that wall.
Full height?
Full height.
Boys, we got some work to do.
The reasoning why I'm asking Damon to open up this complete wall, we had drawings done. We had heat load drawings done. What was here wasn't sufficient for the furnace that we have. So it all has to be taken out and recalculated, and all new heating runs got to be installed.
You guys ready?
Ready.
Dab. A little dab will do you. And don't forget, I'm always watching. Go get him, Yvonne.
Oh.
Boys. I said everything above this line. We're actually not demoing the bottom line. Who did this one?
Rob. MJ Rob.
That's your name, dude. You're lucky we're tearing it all down. Okay.
Oh, it's hard enough.
Okay, Damon, so this is what I found. Old original laundry sink.
Lead pipe.
Lead pipe. The vent has been actually eliminated.
Yeah.
Original cast iron stack. That has not been removed, which puzzles me, to be honest, because if someone did break this and made some changes here, why would they leave this, right? So I'm running a video camera from the original stack. I do see issues underground. The original sections are actually cracked and misaligned, allowing sewage to actually accumulate and potentially form a blockage. I will have those sections excavated and replaced with a new PVC material. I do want to excavate where that one-piece bathroom is set up.
Don't lose that. That's my favorite piece in this whole house, is my own private bathroom down here. Oh my God. Okay. So we are in the neighbor's house. Okay, let me come through here. I am now burglaring his house. Now he understands that I might have to come over here. Wow, full gut on this side. It's actually almost gonna help us, and it's definitely gonna help these guys on their side as well. Well, looks like we're gonna get to know the neighbors pretty well here, guys.
Now, we tried to protect as much as we could of your existing stuff, and we did have to take down quite a bit of things. Yeah. This is just the beginning.
If we'd known now all the problems of this house, there is no way we would have bought this house. What is this?
This is a hole in the floor.
It's just completely overwhelming. Completely overwhelming.
Okay, here's what we need to do. We need to fire stop in between the two units. What we're gonna have to do, unfortunately, is remove everything that's already existing here. As you can see, this plate here These studs here are on our side of the house. This wall here is the neighbor's side. I'm gonna have to frame the neighbor's side, which is actually helping him at this point. I'm gonna frame it 16-inch on center. I'm then gonna add rock salt insulation, which is a fire resistance as well. So at this point, we're framed. We have our insulation in. Now it's our 5/8 drywall. Now we can start framing on our side of the room. When I said snug, you guys made it snug. 5/8 drywall is not going to stop fire from getting through. It's just to give people time enough to get out of the house.
This is actually a fire-grade caulking. Oxygen feeds a fire, and by cutting off any access oxygen has to that fire, we're stopping it and keeping it from spreading between two houses.
So once we get our fire stop in, Gary can continue his ductwork. But back here, we ran into a bit of an issue. It then turns into a single wall. So it's the width of a 2x4. When I build a proper firewall, there will not be enough room for the ductwork. I've talked to Gary, I've talked to the inspector. All the ductwork that originally went through this wall is going to be brought into the outside wall over on this side now. So at this point, I have to now demo this wall so Gary can reroute everything that was going to come up here, run it back over there, and back upstairs where it's needed.
The original design here had no returns upstairs, only supplies. So we're actually adding new returns to the second floor. That's our square ducting, our 4x10s that's running from the basement up to the first floor all the way up to the second, and then we're panning across using the joists. So we're gonna create a lot better airflow on the second floor by putting those returns in each room and one main one in the hallway. So in the end, they're gonna get better heating, better cooling, and it'll be a lot more comfortable.
So I've got all my drains excavated now. The reason, obviously, video camera indicated problems underground. So having everything exposed, I can replace the drains, upgrade them, because I did also have other issues, cracks in the clay pipe and misalignments. I'm also wrapping in a floor drain for the furnace. I will also have another floor drain installed at the back. So this house will actually benefit from 2 floor drains.
45?
Because we're maintaining the original setup, the laundry sink and faucet stays, but the lead pipe that was underneath has been removed and we upgraded that to ABS. And because the sink and faucet is in a good shape, there's no reason to get rid of it. It's actually a solid piece of cast iron, so we'll maintain that.
Come on up, Mr. Yvonne. Okay, let's go look at this chimney, buddy. Now you can imagine, over 100 years, no one has touched this chimney only to parge over it. And it is worse for wear. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start taking this down brick by brick until you hit something solid, and I want you to rebuild it.
Well, this chimney looks pretty old. It's in really bad condition. You could tell that water has penetrated and totally deteriorated all the brick here. That could happen because of a couple of reasons. Not a proper cap on the top with a drip edge to allow the water to flow away from the brick. Second reason, they parged over the brick instead of replacing it. You should never parge over a deteriorated brick. That's not a way to fix it. We've gone ahead and removed all the old brick. So all we have to do from here is re-brick it, put a cap, and we're done.
Well, for the next 3 days, I've got one word: roof.
Not really any surprises. We sort of, with our test cuts prior, we sort of knew what we were into. Removal is going fairly well. We've got another extremely warm day. It's supposed to feel like 40 some odd degrees with the humidex, so the process is going to be a little slower. Once we finish up with the removal, Damon and the crew are going to get up here and start the framing work. So we're off to a good start.
Nicole, you're going to be cutting for us.
Okay.
And you and me are going to be laying down this wall. We're going to start with this wall, bring it right on down. We're in 40-degree weather. We're dying up here. I'm giving the guys as many breaks as we can, but we're still trying to accomplish getting this covered because we have a good day today doesn't mean necessarily we're going to have a good day coming up. There's a really simple solution why we had to put up this knee wall. It's to separate the two roofs. Now there's some defined lines. We have our house on this side of the barrier and their house on the other. That thing is not going anywhere. So what's going to happen after we're done the roof? So Steve has his membrane on, which is considered a vapor barrier. I then spray foam right to the deck. That is also a vapor barrier. Wood needs to breathe. How do you do that to a flat roof that's never been meant to vent? Well, this is what we're doing here. We're cross-strapping. So by bringing our first 2x4s perpendicular over our rafters, and then we strap the other way with our next row, we're treating this little space here like an attic, making sure it breathes. Venting at the bottom, giving an exhaust at this end with a pipe sticking out of the roof, it allows the whole zone to breathe. And that is exactly what we want, and that's exactly what we have to do. Fill the end there, fill this side. Let's start tarping it, okay?
Don't walk in and go, oh, new kitchen, new bathroom, new. It's like, what did they do beyond it? Take a look. Calm down. Oh, look, I can see the neighbor. Take a look at the ducts. Oh, they're really dirty. Go to the roof. Take a look to see if they protected what they did inside, which they didn't. These are key things that says everything that's underneath it is bad.
I didn't even know what a home inspection should be like until Mike walked through my house. He looked everywhere, he saw everything.
Had you have had the right inspector in here, I guarantee you wouldn't have bought this place. But we'll make it right.
We're going to take good care of you guys.
Much.
I can already feel it almost, the weight lifting.
Well, that's not the way to do a fire stop. You might need some mortar on that eventually. So here's my plan for the fire stop. What I want to do is, since we have brick in every void, let's use it. I don't want to take it out, put insulation up there, and then do a fire stop on top of that. What I want to do is go right over top of the brick with cement board. Take the cement board. I want it to cut per size. I want it to lap over the foundation here. We want to get by the wood, right? What we'll do is we'll use a fire caulking to go around it. What they did is they brought brick right up, which is a great surface, but you see gaps. We could see right into our neighbor's side. It's a complete void right through. It's almost like one open basement at that point. That's what we're trying to avoid here. Now what we're doing is we're going to clean it up a little bit. I'm now going to add rock salt. So the only thing to hold rock salt in is your framing. So we built a little frame here. We're going to bring it up into our bays, use a fireproof rock salt, 5/8 drywall over the top. It gives a protection from fire from one side to the other.
Mike mentioned that there's was some water damage on the interior of the home in this corner. From the top of the roof looking down, we can see that there's actually a hydro mass coming through this little lower roof area. We know that the problem is localized around that post, so we're going to concentrate in that area, do some resealing or recaulking, and stop the water from coming in.
Last piece of plywood has gone in. That means the roof is now sheeted and it's vented. So Steve now comes in, starts his cant, and actually starts waterproofing this roof today, which is fantastic. First thing first is Martin's here today. We have to bring our plumbing stack through the roof, so the plumbing breeze. That's got to happen before Steve can start today. Here we go.
Basically, we have 3 skylights. We've reframed the curbs to get to a standard size.
Holy crap! Warm? Oh, it is freaking hot in here all of a sudden. No breeze anymore.
This particular skylight is different than the other 2 because this is actually a venting unit, which allows us to manually open and close it due to being over top of a bathroom. Just below me actually is the shower, so having the ability to open it will reduce that condensation. And you know, warmer days, this can open up like a roof vent, and you can exhaust a lot of the warm air out of the house.
Oh, feel that breeze.
At this point, we're hanging up our main duct. This is our return duct, so we're getting this in. All our rough-ins done. Everything's brought down to the basement. So at this point, we get our supply duct up, and we're done. We're out of here.
I've never drywalled one wall so many times in my life. But this is what you have to do for fireproofing. At the other end, we had a double wall. We were able to put a firewall in between the 2 walls. This time, at this end of the house, we have a 2x4 wall. That means double 5/8, but it doesn't stop there. We had a jog in the wall. I want to build that out with a 1/4 inch. So we've used 1/4 inch drywall in between the 2 5/8 drywall that I need by code for fire stop to add in between. So that means 3 layers of drywall on this one wall. Last sheets are going up now. Push, 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 push. You can do it. You got a 1/4 inch to go. You're there. You're good.
Okay, good.
Every roof is one of a kind. There is no standard profile or standard stock flashing that can be purchased for any individual roof. So this has all been measured to suit and then custom fabricated to fit.
We are so excited for Mike to come and help us and make sure that it's all going to be right. Mike's coming in and saving us. He's like a superhero, big time. Without him, we would be in big, big trouble.
Wow, with a capital W.
What a difference, isn't it?
Wow.
It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. 40-degree weather. The day we were up here framing this, 40 degrees.
Did you think you were in New Orleans again or what?
Well, Steve comes up to me at one point and he goes, you know, you guys should get inside. You don't have roofer skin, eh? I'm like, you know what? I'm a little red. Maybe you're right.
Look at the metal.
I know.
It's perfect. Good job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good job. Well, I'm telling you, see all my guys getting so good. Makes my day. Oh, hello.
Hey, guys.
Hi, hey, guys.
Grant, nice to see you.
Oh,
see you again, Mike. Oh, look at we got hugs already.
Handshakes, it's hugs.
How you doing, Kristen?
Good.
Well, let's start outside. We know we had an issue with water coming down the side here. They threw the ladder up there and caulked everything in sight. It rained like hell in the last, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
It's not coming in. Any questions before I bring you in?
Nope.
We're just excited to see the house.
You ready to come home?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
we're
so ready to come home. We've only owned our home for 6 months, and 1/3 of that time we've been out for construction. So we're really excited to be back in our house.
After you. It's neat, it's clean, and it pretty well looks like it when we left it.
It looks awesome. It's kind of surreal coming in and knowing that there's been a lot of work done and not seeing a lot of changes. But knowing that everything underneath that was wrong is fixed is just awesome. We're so thankful.
Now, these guys worked all weekend.
Last week was a killer week for these guys. They really worked a lot of hours this weekend, so they're a little tired, but they love what they do, and they wanted to get you home.
So if you want to give anyone a hug, you want to give them a big
Oh, they'll all get a hug.
Let's start in the basement and work our way up, okay?
Sure.
All right, after you.
We have a laundry room.
Yeah.
And our sink's still here.
Well, why not? There's nothing wrong with your sink.
We love that sink.
Yeah, I knew you would. I loved it too.
Well, that was in stereo, you know that? Yeah. So you know that every single piece of ductwork was pulled out of your house. Never mind the asbestos that was in there, because remember, this story just started to pile up, didn't it? But I can tell you how much junk was in your other ductwork.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
You don't even want to see that. That's like the guys were gagging down here when they're taking it down. It's out of sight, out of mind, right? It's out of you don't know it. Every single piece is new. Not only is it new, it is just completely sealed the way it should be.
No, there's no hole here.
This is above code.
The scope of redesigning an HVAC system for a 100-year-old house to meet modern-day standards and modern-day code is incredible. I noticed there's no toilet anymore.
I had to get rid of my toilet. I love the toilet down here. It was the biggest bathroom I could have ever wanted, but
incredible.
It wasn't. He had his privacy. He was telling everyone, "I'm going to the washroom
down here."
Now, for all your plumbing, we removed the lead. We've taken everything up to code, even above code, and that's what we're about. I hear so many people say, "Mike, you do too much." It's like, no, I do it like it's my house.
Mike and Damon and the crew are just little angels, you know what I mean? They've come in and they've pulled us out of this this slump and this giant heaping pile of mess and saved us and built everything back up and saved us from our house.
They're actually really big angels. They're not little.
New skylight.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah.
No hole in the ceiling.
Yay!
That's good.
I want to show you the skylight in the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
It opens.
Yay, that's awesome.
And that skylight, we have a stick to go up and open it up, right? The good thing about that is it'll draw the cool air from down low and push it all up there. So it'll actually cool your home. And it's old technology. We used to do this years and years ago, and it's funny we don't do it anymore. If you have a skylight, you should be able to open it. So you can open it.
That's great. That's awesome.
The guys worked on the roof when they took it off, and it took them probably, I don't know, 2 solid days to rip it down to get it ready, and it was about the hottest time of the summer. But look at your new roof, just so you can see it. There's your new skylights. Remember how that's looked before?
It was a mess with the scariest skylight.
Once we got down to the original sheathing, which was plank board, we then restructured for all your skylights. Then we're going to strap it this way and then strap it this way. And what that does is allow cross air from up and over and allows this whole roof to breathe because we sprayed the underside. We want that to breathe. And those 3 vents at the end are your exhaust.
Oh, chimney.
And this was our guys that did this.
That's right. That was Yvonne that did that.
Like, he is so good at what he does.
Awesome.
Beautiful roof.
Our house is exactly what we thought we bought, but better now.
Having everything fixed is the biggest wedding present.
This is more than we could have hoped for. It's, you know, we get our house back, we get our life back, and we get to move forward. You did seem to get us quite a big present, so we thought we might get a little token.
Look at that.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Can I have a hug?
Come over here, buddy.
Come over here. Thank you very much. Yeah, to the crew who worked so hard on your job, I love them all. Cheers.
There was nothing on the day of the inspection that gave me any indication that he was either A, incompetent, or B, just not really doing his job.
And this is telling us that we're losing massive amounts of heat.
We just assumed that he was on our side and we bought the house.
He saw this, right?
Yes.
What did he say about this? Because you were with him.
Nothing. Nothing. What I think the inspector really was doing was nothing.
Jeff and Tina, first-time home buyers. I wanted to make sure they had a home inspector, something different that I'm not used to hearing. The real estate agent has their own home inspector all the time. It's part of their service. You don't pay extra. If you deal with this real estate agent, it's a free home inspection. The home inspector didn't say much was wrong with the house, but it didn't take too long till things started to go wrong. I'm here to ask questions, get answers, and I'm here to do a homes inspection. And I'm gonna make it right.
We were in an apartment and we were suffocating each other, right?
That was the whole reason that kind of set it off, was we needed more space, and it was like, to rent a 3-bedroom was so much money, we might as well just, you know, be buying. You know, our kids are coming to an age where they want their own space. Being a backsplit, the upstairs, they had their own little space with their own bathroom. You know, they've got the YouTube on or whatever have you, playing their music, and they're making up dances. And then on top of that, we also had the finished basement. It made us go, okay, this is gonna work for the kids. Our realtor, part of his fee was to include a home inspection. I came and I did it by myself with just me and the inspector, but it seemed to go good. He would see something, he would explain it to me, and I was asking him questions and he was answering them.
He did make some recommendations, but it was pretty minor stuff, and you know, the dollar value was minimal.
You must be Jeff?
That's me.
I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Tina?
Yes, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Could I
Yeah.
ask you to put your coat and shoes on and come on? I might as well start outside.
Yep.
The real estate agent that day is like, this is minor stuff, nothing to go back to the homeowner and renegotiate the price.
We just signed the papers and we moved in.
Let's look around at your neighbors' houses, okay? So we see the house right over there. You see the black roof?
Yes.
It snowed last night.
Right.
So I step outside of my house and I got about, this much snow on my whole roof.
Okay.
They're losing heat. That house isn't bad. They're losing heat. How can I tell? Because the snow's melting. See your roof?
Yep.
Yeah, right on the top there.
You're losing huge amount of heat.
Yeah, there's like no snow up there.
Almost no snow. That probably means there's not enough insulation in the attic.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
get a blanket on your bed. You have a sheet.
We have multiple blankets. My daughter actually slept with 2 blankets last night.
But imagine sleeping with a sheet.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be cold,
It
right?
would be freezing.
That's what your house is doing. Let's go inside.
All right, yes. And this is our daughter's bedroom, the cold room, we call it.
More than likely, because I didn't see the snow on the roof here and over this room, you probably have the same thing, problem in the next room.
Right.
So what the difference may be is you're having so much heat loss on the whole back of the house is maybe you don't have enough airflow there. Right. So now it starts to tell me about your HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning that I need to look more into. And I'll see more when I get downstairs. Where's the access to the attic?
Right
The
here
front
at the
access
steps.
is just at the
Oh,
steps.
right there. See, that makes it nice and easy. Did he go in there?
He did. He even said, come on up the ladder, I want to show you. And he said, look at all the insulation. That's really, really good, and it's good insulation.
You saw a lot of insulations. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Sufficient insulation, sufficient venting. So I'm going to disagree with it based on what I see from outside. Totally until I see more, but I want to see what he saw, because in the report it said sufficient. In other words, he's given it 2 thumbs up. Your bedroom.
Right.
Somebody has gutted this room. I'm seeing new pod lights. I'm seeing pop screws, which tells me, based on the year of the house, this has been re-drywalled. Why do I see the bulk right there? Now, I can assume ductwork has come up.
I know it comes up through that back corner. I know it does.
How?
Because in the crawl space, all the venting goes into that corner and it goes straight up.
So they rerouted it.
Right.
Okay, so now I'm really gonna take a look at this. So you did the new fan in this bathroom?
Right.
I'm actually feeling that. Good for you.
The inspector actually looked up in that one, took it off, and said, oh, it's not working, it's not hooked up, probably because it's old and noisy. And when we went to go replace it, there wasn't even a fan in there.
Yeah, there was no fan in it. And both.
So somebody pulled the fan out, the motor and fan is what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
First day that we sat down, or we moved in, I go to the washroom and my toilet bowl moved.
I went to go sit on the toilet, I went, woo!
It slid out?
It slid out underneath me.
That's usually not good.
No.
You know, I checked it and the bolts weren't attached. Like they were just dangling in their holes. It wasn't bolted down. And on the inspection, there actually even is a box that says bowl loose. And he never caught it.
Why do you have the register closed?
we're trying to just push heat other parts of the house, to be honest.
Well, you're using your imagination.
Yeah.
That usually does work, but you want that they should all be open, right? That's the way it goes. But so you have an unbalanced system, that's for sure. It's nice to see that you actually have the French door so you can see people coming up and down. You don't knock them out on the way up and the way down. So somebody put in a suspended ceiling. Did your home inspector even touch the suspended ceiling tiles?
No.
Well, this is something that I really love doing, okay? Now, they don't want to do it because they don't want to damage anything. These are soft tiles and a flex tile, so more than likely it's not that far from the floor joist itself. It's real easy, with the back of my hands, not to do damage, to lift that tile, take a quick look. Lift that tile, move it out of the way a bit. Little things that I want to look for is what's the electrical look like, what's the flooring look like, and just take a quick look. It doesn't hurt. Every once in a while, move a tile. Is that a heat register or cold every turn?
No,
It's
that
nothing.
goes into the furnace room.
Okay.
We moved in here, and the very first thing we noticed was our water tank. It was continuously running, and there was venting gases that you could smell, obviously, and they were just going around the house, and you could smell it, so we had to replace that immediately.
How did he miss that our water tank was broken? It literally fell apart in the contractor's hands that we had in to replace it.
I've seen a lot of tankless hot water systems. This looks pretty good. Where'd you tie into? Electrically, you tied into the furnace switch?
I mean, we did actually have the cash physically, but we had paid off stuff, like knowing that this was the water tank was our honeymoon.
So you do have plumbing on the outside wall. So somebody's cut strips of foam, which, by the way, if you have foam, it needs to be drywalled over. Was this like this?
Yeah, this was we've done nothing.
Okay, so that's another huge no-no, because you're in a furnace room. This is very flammable. He should have pointed this out right away. He should have said, get your freaking cold water pipes or hot water pipes off that wall, because it's right on the wall.
Wow.
Okay. Anything else to tell me down here?
We had to pull the dryer out, and there's a hole in the bottom of the wall, and the dryer plug-in is lying right there on the floor, and going right past it is the drainage for the furnace.
We bought these washing machines, and these pipes still came up, out of the wall the way they do, but they weren't tied down.
That could have shorted, that could have killed my kids, you know? So that was when we really started going, oh my gosh.
Okay, now.
Right away in the back, I see that they changed all your ductwork, and no wonder it's cold upstairs.
Winter came, and the girls' bedroom was freezing. There was no hot air in there at all. You know, they're snuggled up in blankets.
There's the two boots that come off that'll probably get your, the 2 bedrooms upstairs, your kids' rooms.
Okay.
Okay, and they've changed it right from this point here. They put on flex line, which is a no. He saw this, right?
Yes, yes.
What did he say about this? Because you were with him.
Nothing. He didn't say anything.
Not a word.
No.
Every ounce of, extra income goes towards repairs. Not to say that stuff like that shouldn't happen, but it's just the stuff that he missed that really pisses me off more than anything.
Don't worry. I'm going to go through it. I'll bring it back. I'll tell you what I found, and I'll make it right.
You know, they're just little things, but little things add up, and we're afraid to, stumble upon that really big one that's going to put us in some trouble.
The initial home inspection was a redundant process and a complete waste of my money. I know what it takes to make $500. This guy came in here for an hour and influenced us in buying a home that we probably wouldn't have bought.
Now, it's all perforated soffits, which is a good sign. The question is, based on the year, it used to be a wood soffit. Is there any holes drilled in there? Do we have air coming in the bottom, which we want to have, not like I'm seeing here with this. It's not how you do exhaust pipes. That's attractive looking in the driveway, isn't it? Don't like that gas line that goes across the ground, though. It's just too close to the ground, too tight, no room for an expansion and contraction. It should be mounted to the wall and so high off the ground. And here's something I've never seen before. Now, is it okay to have the electrical off the house and on the fence? That's a really good question. That means that line's run underground. How deep is it run underground? That becomes an electrical issue. The air conditioning itself, both lines are also under the ground. How deep is it? Where does it go inside to the house? I don't see it coming above ground again, which means it goes underground and into the house. Is that a penetration point for water? Yes. Now look at that, eh? I keep talking about, is this a whirlybird season? Everyone's got whirlybirds. That house, this house, the next door neighbors, must have been a sale on whirlybirds. There's our neighbors on the left. Almost all the houses in the neighborhood, including that house right across the street, all the snow is gone. We have snow on the roof on the left. We have no snow on the roof on the right, or almost no snow in the back of the house. So somebody's done something right on this side, somebody's done something wrong on this side. Great picture, actually. That looks good. Bulkhead in the corner. That's where they've run the pipes up to the upstairs. That's why one of them will go through the floor, underneath the floor, and in back into the kids' room. But why would they do that? Not logical. Why did they do that? If there was a center wall here, somebody's made some real big changes, and now I have a concern. A wall would have been right in the center. This would have been 2 rooms. They must have put a beam in the ceiling. They came up through the closet with the pipes, and it comes down underneath the beam and back up to get to the register on the other side. That's why they came down around that with the bulkhead. Now look downstairs, and now I'm going in the attic. So there's the 2 lines that come off the furnace. They even closed off one that come off the top of the main trunk line. The other 2 they picked up to go upstairs to run the 2 kids' rooms. We even have a kinked bend right there. This will go through the closet, the vertical bulk that I was talking about in the closet. All the way upstairs. One of them will run back, kick up in the room on the right. The other one will go over, comes underneath, back up through the floor, and exhaust up. So that means it doesn't get enough hot air. Second, if it's losing a lot of hot air to the attic, it makes for a very cold room. So here's the access to the attic. As our front roof ties into our back roof. So this is where the home inspector brought in Tina to take a look, and was really good because he's trying to show there's lots of insulation, but what do we see right from here? There's lots of insulation back there. There's not a lot of insulation right here. We could use a little bit of fixing of that insulation to equal it out. More than likely, this vertical wall right here is not insulated enough. We're seeing how much insulation is on the back of the door. This will be an area with a massive amount of heat loss. Like the biggest amount is in the back attic, which I need to look into a little more. There's no way this is correct.
Any walkway, paved driveway, 7 feet above.
Air conditioning running through the ground, electrical on the fence running through the ground.
Line can run underground. It has to be protected. It's got to run in a pipe.
It's just about getting what's wrong fixed, you know, and just knowing that it's safe. I mean, we have kids.
Okay, we have a pretty easy day, and I'll explain why in a moment. What I'd like you to do to start off with is no holes in the walls, and, well, I might as well just tell you. We found asbestos in the house, okay? Damon knows. So this is a bit of an issue. It means we can't punch any holes. It was a good call that I made to make sure, check for asbestos in the plaster. It's a 1:5 ratio. It's a type 2. It does not require an air test after cleaning, but it does require that we call in our environmental company to pull it out. I'm going to have them do the full master bedroom, completely gutted, because I need to check structure and everything, which I'll show you more about.
All right.
I want you to take down the tile right across here. Let's neatly place them in a spot where we can put them back in.
Just so we're looking at what we're seeing above the ceiling here, right?
Yeah, let's pull down the drywall, because we can touch this. This is new. This drywall, this one here, actually pull that down for the hell of it, because that way I can see this side of the furnace. Take it right down at the corner.
Okay.
Okay, this is the pride and joy of the homeowner.
The washer and dryer?
She is in love with this, and she keeps the door open. She's very smart with it, so take it out gently, cover it up, okay? And the sink should come out easy. So if you get all this done, I'd be really happy. I'm just gonna go back in the attic, because I think I'm gonna try and crawl to the other side. I may do it myself.
If you can't get up there, you want me in there? I'll squeeze in there.
Yeah, because you two are gonna fit.
You want to do rock, paper, scissors? Not with you, though. You're not even included in this.
Always. Come on, rock, paper, scissors, right?
Okay. Yeah.
One, you two.
No, she wanted to go.
Oh, no. Get your hand up.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
But what I'm seeing when I get to the point, it looks like it drops, I guess, to the other roof. It looks like insulation stuffed into all the joints where maybe baffles should be, all stuffed in, and where I could only see so low, I couldn't see far down because of the way the roof is.
Yeah, getting down to the next roof.
Yeah, I couldn't. It only looks
so
like
you saw
blocks.
an open span there?
Yeah.
But you could see the other...
I could see, yeah. I could see.
Okay, I'm gonna see that from the other roof then. I gotta find out where this heat loss is coming from. Well, it's definitely in this wall. There's my tie-in. So it's just sitting on top. I'm gonna lose it through the bathroom the way that's done. Okay, now I know where we're losing it. All the blown-in insulation is mounted in the center of the two attics, but very thin around the perimeter. Plus, that knee wall only has about an R12. Nice and simple. Very bad roof design, by the way. Not good for insulation, and it's not going to be good to try and fix this.
Oh, that's interesting. What a mess. Not the way to do insulation. Jeez. It's like peeling back layers of time here.
Probably not the best time to come in for you and look at the roof in the freezing cold. But like I was saying to the homeowners, look at all the roofs here.
Well, yeah, it's fairly obvious. The ones you can see that definitely have heat loss.
Every single house in this neighborhood has the same issue, including this one here. I'm also worried with the age of the home that we have beautiful perforated soffit, but that there's wood underneath and it's blocked off.
You know, we want to make sure we got the area from the soffit into the attic open, whether there's brick or wood blocking that. So make sure that there's baffles installed, getting the airflow in.
No insulation on the end. House is losing heat everywhere. I don't know, it looks pretty good. The hole in the floor is probably just the floor joists. Oh, that's brilliant. Hey?
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Run all the ductwork on the end and have no insulation?
Yeah, well, plus they cut into them. Look at that. All of these cut right through the joist.
So you think the home inspector, what did I say? Move a tile, take a look. Just move a tile, take a look. Surprise.
So in this room is just your typical plumbing on outside walls, Holmes. Messy insulation stuffed on the other side of it in the wrong place.
We do have a vent stack and we have a drain. So somebody has made a change, because when I looked under the sink, I didn't see vent. It looked like the pipe went right down. So here's the issue. I may have to break in a small area. So let's have Martin look at this and let's make sure that when we have our guys in, the environmental guys, we may have to pull a cabinet and break a hole in the wall.
Yep.
But what a sloppy way of doing the phone,
No kidding. Not pretty, but you're right, not terrible,
I'm
just
looking
sloppy.
at the plumbing too. The sink is no longer here.
Yeah.
What we may end up doing is channeling the floor to that drain. So let's talk to Martin.
And running it through.
Okay, because I don't want that anymore.
Yep.
Air conditioning.
Comes in
right here.
Back here.
Okay. Pull the cabinet, pull the drywall, please. All right.
Wow. Look at this. Look at the line. They ran right through the concrete.
So the line has to be 18 inches down, and actually it's not. So this line has to be in conduit as well.
Right, okay.
But what Gary was saying, that this can be in ground, but it must be in a conduit line so the ground doesn't grab it, break it, and freeze thaw.
Especially on soft copper. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's got to be protected, and insulated wouldn't hurt as well.
Right, okay.
So one thing I can't believe is that this has not leaked into the basement.
I know, I don't really see signs of it, though, eh? It's, I can see signs of leaking somewhere else, but not there.
So here's the sucky part.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Tell me. I can guess, but let's hear from the horse's mouth. Yeah, I knew it. So digging up the old AC line was easy. Now all we have to do is core a hole through the foundation wall, run new conduit, and run new lines right to the AC.
Gary?
Mr. Mike.
How's this?
Well, a couple issues. We got a gas flux connector that's in the furnace. It's an appliance connector. But the way they've put this in, I got a lot of vibration on that. And that's a flexible line. It concerns me because it may, it's only like a stainless steel type aluminum flex. It may break. Another gas issue I'm seeing here is the hot water tank, or the tankless. There's no shutoff right at the appliance. There's one at the beginning of the gas pipe, but where they have it, it's very difficult to get there. You can't even really see it unless you're looking for it and looking really hard.
Okay, you already seen all the leaks. There's probably leaks galore and everything. You saw the ductwork underneath the crawl space.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna be doing.
Yeah, I'll be ripping all that crap out.
I need to gut the whole room because I need to, inspect the structure to make sure it's fine.
Okay.
Here's my issue. Here's the problem that I have.
We both lie there at night and just kind of go, oh, God, like, please don't let there be anything else.
Hello.
Tina, Jeff.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Welcome home. Come on in.
Thought we'd do something different, sit and relax and yak for a minute.
You too.
Good to see you, bud.
Nice to see you.
You too.
Sir Jeff. Mike. Kind of cool out there, eh?
It's freezing.
Oh, it's warmer in here. You see a picture of the outside of your house.
Yes.
Today ended up being a perfect day for me to confirm, and I took these shots earlier, because there's no sun. So there's no hot sun heating up the shingles on the roof, much like the asphalt on the road. And it's what it's doing is, because it's cold, it's going to show me where you have heat escape. So I took a few pictures. All yellow is very hot. All black or blue is very cold. So you see the yellow on the ridge, you see the yellow on the front piece here, and right up across the other side of the ridge. You see the back part of your roof?
It's completely yellow.
What does that mean?
It's completely not keeping any hot air in.
The big issue that I see is your heat loss is in the front. If somebody's come in with just a chute and fired up a bunch of blown-in insulation. But because they didn't displace it properly, it's in the center. So we're having all kinds of leakage on the outside wall area coming through the ceiling and getting up into the attic. So heat from the house escapes into the lower attic, and then it travels up to the rear attic, which is right above those two bedrooms. That's why the snow melts on the roof. So let's go downstairs, and I'll explain more in there. But wait to see what I got to do to fix this.
Oh, boy.
So rather than taking all the tiles down, I just wanted to look at the floor, and you can see that to try to put up spacers to help stop the squeaks. But the spacers, you need to glue it and screw it, not just nail a little piece of wood up. As I follow down to this side here, it was kind of important. Remember I talked about how a home inspector could move a tile?
Yep.
I want you to look right over here. Look up.
Okay.
Okay.
So we see ductwork?
Oh, my God.
What did they do?
They cut into the joist to put that in.
Very good. Do you think that's allowed?
No.
Is that foolish or what? Let's go into the furnace room after you. We know for sure there's no shutoff on the gas. Code says we have to have a shutoff. We do have a shutoff by the furnace, but it's in such a hard to get place. The easiest thing to do is to put a shutoff right here. That's where you want to shut it off if ever there's a problem. Yeah. The electrical that they tied into is right into your furnace. Not allowed. These are professionals you supposedly hired. They did it all wrong. Not to mention home inspector missed the gas line that runs to the backyard, the air conditioning running underground. I can go on about what he's missed. Wait till I tell you what's next. Let's go upstairs. Okay? Come on.
Our inspector should have had enough knowledge to catch enough things to go, you know what, this might be a risk to buy. Like, things have got to change.
We know there was a wall in the center. So when someone took the wall down, they did something half decent. They put a pocket beam inside and they tied the floor joist into the beam. That way there's no bulkhead or anything in the middle of the room, which shows they divided it. So, something I need to do. I need to get the whole room.
Okay.
Here's my issue. Here's the problem that I have. It's a good thing that I made the call to say, let's do a check on the asbestos ratio in the plaster, because anything before 1980 has a possible chance in the country here that there's a 1:5 ratio in the plaster. You have it.
Okay. Our home inspection was worthless, really. It was worthless, and I'm sick to my stomach, really.
We're bringing in an environmental company. They're going to gut this room. It's a type 2. It's not a type 3. Type 2 is still bad. It means I can't touch it. It means it's got to be cleaned out by professionals. It's got to be brought to an environmental cleaning area. It can't just go to a dump. But it means now everything that I got to open, the kitchen, in here, and anything else I got to touch to do with the plaster, it's in the plaster. It's not in the drywall. They got to do.
We both come from renting all our lives, and, you know, we wanted the kids to have, like, the backyard, the nice house, and because our inspector was not knowledgeable enough to, or whatever, to find everything that was wrong, we've been living in a house for 1.5 years that's not safe for our kids. So. I guess we thought that maybe he'd come in and maybe there'd be a little bit extra, but wow.
Everything else doesn't even matter. It's the asbestos.
So, you're telling me we have a type 2 in the house?
Yes, they found the asbestos in the tape joints here.
Right, so we're just talking about in the joint compound, not in the drywall itself.
No, the drywall itself has no asbestos. It's in the compound itself.
Right, so just tell me the process. What are you going to start with?
What we would start with is we'd go inside after it's all prepared.
Yeah.
We'd go inside and the guys would seal up any of the vents, get negative air pressure going, negative air machines, suits and respirators, and then go to work.
We have a lot of work to do in this house, so we're only going to remediate the areas that we're actually working on. And in the future, the homeowners can have any other asbestos removed if they're going to renovate. Even though a level 2 abatement does not need an air test, we're going to go ahead and get an air test anyway, just to ease everyone's mind. Then we can continue with all the work. Boys, let me give you a quick update on what's happening today, okay? We have Steve Graves here today outside. He's taking down all the trough, which is filled with ice, so be careful out there. He's also going to start fixing the venting today. He's going to tackle quite a bit. We also have Martin here today. So I have to take down the walls in the laundry room. Martin has a lot of stuff to do behind that wall, so the faster we remove it, the faster he gets to work, okay? Right. For us, want to fix the structure on the floor today, where they ran the ductwork, so let's get your tools, let's move some stuff around, get trades in here and get to work, okay, guys? Let's go. We also have to get all this styrofoam out, okay? Right through to that room there, right through to here.
So when I did my initial inspection, I noticed that the kitchen drain is going into the wall and then drops right down and towards the basement. Once this wall is actually exposed, what I see is that this drain drops over here, and then it does pick up a vent system, vent line here. However, that's not to code. That water from the kitchen drain will actually pick up substantial momentum through this drop, and before it hits the vent, it will have so much momentum, it may actually suck the water out of the trap. By code, what I should have is a TY that is installed higher. Obviously, I'm going to replace this universal coupling and make sure things are done properly, and I'm not going to get any more sewer gases.
We're just finishing up with the eaves trough installation. The existing eaves troughs were old, galvanized, starting to rust away, starting to leak. The original downspout location was here in the driveway, went tied into the weeper, so we've new seamless aluminum eaves trough, 5-inch. The original troughs were 4-inch galvanized. Being a larger size, much better for controlling the water. So we've re-sloped the eaves, and now we're gonna drain out to the front, out onto the lawn. Just better management of controlling the water.
So 85.5 on the other one, okay? Next order, please.
Well, the guys just finished putting in the heating runs. We got the heating run coming up, going to the upstairs bedroom. The old lines used to have 2 lines coming up and then came under the beam. So to fix this issue, what we've done is we've separated them, put one on each end of the room. Second issue was those flex lines they ran. Terrible job. They weren't sealed, a lot of leakage, squished up again into this area. So we got some solid pipes all taped up, nice and sealed, no air leakage. We're gonna improve that airflow up to those bedrooms.
So we have a lot of work to do before Tina and Jeff can get back home. Right now, I have Rob and MJ laminating all new joists onto the old joists that have been cut out. We have Northwood in right now. They're doing all the new gas lines for the barbecue and for the furnace lines. And we have Solutions here, just finishing up the wiring. After this is done, we're ready for spray foam.
Damon had asked me to relocate the dryer and the washing machine. The dryer was an easy one to do. Washing machine wasn't dedicated. So what we've done is I've actually eliminated it off the old circuit, ran a new line for my washing machine, and at the same time, because this is classified as a laundry room, I'm allowed to pick up the plugs that are in this laundry room off the same circuit. So what I've done is, this is for the washing machine, and I've added an extra outlet here for the homeowners, because they have to do any ironing or anything like that. The other issue was, Mike had mentioned that the tankless hot water wasn't on its own circuit. It was tied in with the furnace. So what we did is we eliminated it off the furnace, and we ran a brand new dedicated circuit from the panel to the hot water tank.
We inspected the attic, found the insulation wasn't up to par, so we've removed that. The attic is a back split. The upper level is a pretty tight situation, so we've got the guys up there working rather diligently in the tight spot. Spray foam insulation in the attic will guarantee an air seal. There's no vapor barrier up there right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to spray foam the deck up to the venting and the knee walls to complete the air seal, so you got no air leaving the home through the attic. Once the spray foam's done, and get a complete air seal up there, the guys will come down. We're going to put R20 in the walls, air sealing in all the exterior walls in this room, and some of the exterior walls in the basement as well.
We have to open up the kitchen wall in order to fix the plumbing, and I cannot match this tile again. So what that means is I'm replacing all the backsplash. Downstairs, we have Martin scoping the drains and fixing the condensation line to the furnace.
I ran a video camera through the sanitary line, and I discovered that there's severe buildup of grease and debris. It's caused by inadequate maintenance. Also, another issue I had was I had a condensation line from the furnace, which was actually extended to the floor drain above ground. The best solution here was to excavate and upgrade the floor drain to PVC material, and then bring the condensation lines properly below grade to prevent any leakage or spill on the concrete floor.
Damon had to come in because apparently this room was a disaster, so that the old floor had to come out. So he's replacing it with this floor, which looks like a traditional floor from the top, but it's actually a solid sawn material, which means it's got different substrates. So you have the top layer goes like this, And then the middle layer, you see the slats are running perpendicular. It's also oak. And then the bottom layer, it runs again perpendicular to the middle. So as it expands and contracts, it has the stability. So it's a really nice product.
So this is the toilet that's loose, and basically all it is, it's a broken flange. No one's ever bothered to fix it. So what Adam's gonna do, he's gonna get a flange repair kit, which basically just helps re-secure the flange back down to the floor, and he is done.
We removed the existing roof vent from this area. The roof vent itself is just a standard roof vent that's not actually meant or designed for this application. So here we have our 4-inch exhaust coming from the kitchen. This warm, moist air is sort of partially coming through the vent and also partially affecting the attic, getting into the attic space, and we're seeing it stain and mildew. But the more permanent solution will actually attach and seal a collar to this pipe. And then using a proper exhaust vent, which actually has a damper or flapper in it, so that when the fan gets powered, this flapper will open and actually exhaust the air. When the fan's not on, the damper will drop and prevent cold air from falling down the pipe and entering into the house. This upper roof is actually a separate attic space than the lower roof behind us. So it's vented separately, in other words. So it's all right having vents here and vents there. The only problem with this area is we have 3 different types of vents that are basically working against each other. We have this turbine-style vent that's actually mechanically operated. The wind powers it and helps draw air up. The problem is we know the soffits are blocked for an intake. So where this vent is actually getting its air from is these other 2 vents. You're just circulating the top portion of this attic. We're not actually clearing any moisture or heat issues at the lower portions of the roof, and that's often where we'll see mold or mildew build up. So, removal of these 2 vents, replace some plywood sheeting, bit of new shingles, and making sure the soffits get opened up, this attic will perform properly.
Joey, I heard you found something else here, buddy.
Unfortunately, I did.
What'd you get?
Well, if you can see up here, you see where the lock ring is on that pipe where the service wires are coming in?
Yep.
Where you can see that somebody's taken the punch out one size too big.
Oh, it's not grabbing the panel.
So, we're gonna replace this panel. It can be as simple as me just popping that out, putting a couple of donuts. Basically what a donut is, it's an oversized washer.
Right.
But the other issue we have here is we got too many circuits now in this house.
Right.
The best thing to do, we'll rip this out, put a new panel, make it expandable.
We're at 0 hour, my friend.
This, 4 hours is done.
All right. It's reveal day, and I think they're going to be very happy.
Tina, nice to see you again.
Hey, Jeff. Mike.
Good to see ya.
How you doing?
And Jeff.
David. Mike. Well, yeah. People get us confused all the time.
Just take a look up, Steve. I love this guy. Not only did he make sure we had proper ventilation come in the attic, which I'll talk about later. New east troughs, downspout out to the front. You wanted the hot water heater, the tankless. It is now to code. It's completely insulated. It's not pretty, but it is that. If we could have put it somewhere else, we would have.
Right. It looks
but it's the
way
most
better.
logical spot, and yes, now it's up to code.
Yeah.
We've also removed the dangerous gas line and ran it on the inside of the house and then back out beside the barbecue to a quick connect valve.
I wanted to check the line for where the air conditioning came in. You remember that it was all run underground? They dug it all up. They put it in a sleeved conduit, making sure it's watertight in the foundation and up to code. We just had the ESA guy, Electrical Safety Authority, come in and pass the panel. Oh, new panel? Let me show you.
All righty.
All right, let's just bring you into the kitchen. We'll talk. But you have a new backsplash. That's minor, but that's the guys saying, okay, we got to dress this up. Now, all this had to be pulled out. You know that. We had to bring in our wonderful guys from the abatement company to pull out the asbestos in the plaster because we had to gut things. This was another area they had to do.
Okay.
All the plumbing's fixed in here. This cabinet fell apart. You got a brand new cabinet, refaced it, new sink, new taps.
new
nice.
range hood.
Yes, very nice.
You know what, I'm really pleased with the finish. I'm more pleased about, because you know me, I'm about what's behind it all. It all looks good. You know, when it comes to the attic, it was one of the hardest attic zone areas we had to deal with. We did a 1-inch butter coat of the wall-tight eco, right to the front, to the back.
Wow.
And getting in those spots was the hardest. Buttering that and then putting in the blown in on top of that. Now, you heard me talk about the blanket on the bed, and that's exactly what we did. We put a beautiful blanket on your bed, and that's why it's so warm in here. We're not letting the heat out. It's actually holding it.
Oh my God.
You know, it's the little things. I love the little things.
Oh my God.
Now, remember, this room was gutted. Okay, this was done by our guys because the asbestos is in the plaster. Your closets were opened up. The ductwork was rerun. The ductwork was rerun in the vertical bulkhead. New floor, new trim, new pod lights, new electrical. This whole area, again, wall-tight eco, was sprayed in the wall. I love it. Again, you're gonna find this really nice and warm in here because it should be done this way.
All the stuff that he was saying, just in this one room that had to be fixed, it was a little bit, holy jumping.
Nice and cleaned up. I made sure that I had them remove the styrofoam. Fixed up not only your vent lines, your exhaust, but all your gas lines, all the electrical problems that we had in here.
Okay, nice.
So with that, making sure like we did your bedroom, like we did the 1-inch butter in your attic, we did the wall-tight eco spraying across the wall here, close it all in using mold-resistant drywall. Everything we use is mold-resistant, zero VOCs, very environmentally friendly. And it's not just for the environment, it's for your environment. It's for you guys.
Ooh-wee.
All right, this is nothing spectacular, but it's about, again, what we did.
Way prettier.
We did not scratch or damage your washer and dryer. There was huge things that, if you notice, the drain floor is proper, everything is run into it, so it no longer comes out tripping hazard, water hazard. All this wall was pulled, making sure that we use blue wood, that we use mold resistant, that we have spray foam once again.
You gotta remember, all the plumbing was against that wall. He had to bring all that plumbing to the front of the wall because we spray foamed in behind it. So we actually have the plumbing on the right side of the insulation now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I work hard for my money, like everybody else, and I felt like I got shafted by my inspector. Mike made it beyond anything I could expect. I'm gonna have a good night's sleep tonight and gonna move forward from here.
Think about the ductwork for a second. Everything down here had to be rerouted from across here, over and up, pulling out all the old. So not just to look at that ductwork, look at this here, again, the exhaust and the pressure outside. Just HVAC alone was huge money. Yeah. Huge money.
Can imagine. You
bring them all in, they all care about what they do. They like you because you're good people, we like you.
I know I am.
Friends.
You're in trouble.
Oh my God, Mike and the crew are just amazing. There'll never be words to thank him and let them all know like how much we appreciate that they came and they helped us out. Like, thank you is just not enough.
Thank you for dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
We're embarrassed that we're actually on this show. No, but I'd rather not be on the show. I'd rather have my inspector come in here and do his job, and maybe have Mike come in here and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with this house, and have the anticlimactic episode or whatever, right?
I'd rather not be on the show. How do I top that?